Hi everyone, if I get this out on time it should be Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's. Today's reading is going to be who would give to you unconditionally, because St. Valentine wed, apparently, I don't really know much about this, but apparently wed soldiers who he shouldn't have wed because he was supposed to be single and fierce and off to war. So it has something to do with unconditional Pisces type love to me. You have got three choices. I have been stealing Swedish things from my mum's house. She doesn't know I've got these and she wouldn't like it. This one's a little bit sun damaged because I think its hat was wet, white ones. But you have got three choices. You have got little boy, little Swedish boy. You have got horse, or you have got Swedish girl or Swedish lady. So if you want to take a choice, then we'll get going.
La música de Harry Fraud.
The person who I think who would give to you unconditionally, there's lots of astrological signs here. You've got Aries, you've got Gemini, Virgo, but you've also got a very smooth, loving feeling. To me, this person feels like they are quite a home person, somebody who likes to fall in love, somebody who's got a real soft side, but somebody who's not afraid to go out into the world and get what they want, somebody who's probably very good at jump starting life, to be honest. You've got Aries, you've got the Ace of Wands here, so that to me feels like somebody who's not afraid to say what they're thinking. They're not afraid to put their neck on the line or take risks. There's also a feeling here that they've got the gift of the gab. With Mercury and Aries there, that's quite a potent combination, I could say conversation there, a bit of both really, of somebody who you can't get around very easily. This person speaks the truth and they're very good at it. You wouldn't be able to pull the wool over this person's eyes. This person's got a very sort of family orientated view of life. They like to go out, probably quite traditional, to be honest. Probably quite traditional with regards to home life, because you've got the 10 of Cups, you've got the moon here. This is somebody that possibly struggles with asserting themselves. Not actually asserting themselves, but afterwards, because there's two parts of their nature. It feels like somebody that pushes out without thinking, somebody that likes to get things moving, somebody that if they were poked, they would give some back straight away. But there's also a feeling here that they're quite nostalgic, very sympathetic as well. Do you know what it feels like? It feels like somebody who's good at living life, somebody who looks successful, but somebody who can virtually read your mind, somebody where there's strong undercurrents when you are talking to them and you are trying to cover up your own truth, possibly that they can see straight through it and would basically slice through you and tell you what you're doing, which you can associate with Aries, but especially Aries, Libra, I find. Libra particularly, lots of Libras that I know, you're telling them bits that you're trying to believe yourself, and they're looking at you thinking, you don't believe that, do you? And they can see it straight away. There's something very psychic about Libras. Not all Libras, but a lot of the Libras I know, I don't know if we just read each other very well, because they can certainly read me. I'm like, stop it, I don't like it. So this is somebody who has almost a sixth sense to how you function. This person could sit next to you and know what you're going to say next. Your person is not afraid of sticking their neck out. They're not afraid of making change in the world, or they don't need, this is the energy of somebody that doesn't need to be told how to do something. It's the type of person who interviews that wouldn't ring up for references, because they've got their own mind and they've made their mind up. And also if they didn't make their mind up, they wouldn't care anyway. Sorry, if they had made their mind up, it went wrong, they wouldn't care anyway. because the important thing to this person is to be able to think for themselves. But you have got the Ten of Cups and the Moon card here that has got a feeling of perhaps struggling with emotion slightly, but not to lack of feeling, because you've got the Ten of Cups twice. It's more a case it doesn't fit in with this energy. So this person struggles with their gentle, more feminine nature with regards to their masculine, more outpouring nature. I mean, I suppose feminine can outpour, but this is, it drives outwards. And Pisces maybe as well. Pisces, Aries feeling. This is somebody that looks soft. If there's a Pisces, Aries feeling about your person, their smile, the way that they look at you, the way that their eyes actually curve when they are talking to you, the way that you feel accepted when you're speaking to this person is second to none. But this person wants, if they're poked in any way, or they may just be extremely good at sports that doesn't suit the type of appearance or the nature, because this person can read you. Whoever this is that wants to give to you unconditionally can read you really well. You may not like that, but this person's intentions are genuine and sweet. This isn't somebody who has time for stupidness in life, you know, going outside of what they're doing to pull other people up, or to be petty, or to be childlike. There's too much sweetness and there's too much drive. So this person's too busy doing. This is somebody that helps other people that this is the person that's, if somebody in your family is in trouble, would be there straight away. They'd be doing, and they'd be sympathetic in doing, rather than, oh my God, this is disgusting, let's get it sorted out. It'd be almost like they would comfort and help. So I don't know if that feels right to you. Right, I'm going to keep going. Let's just go with... Okay, this is quite funny because there's a strange feeling here that you may not either have not met this person yet, or this person, you don't think that they like you, or they're not interested because they're always busy in everybody else's lives, because they just get included into lots of different things. There's a feeling here that you're pulled towards this person if you do know them, or you will be, because they have a very, very strong love nature. This is somebody that gives almost without any thought of what's coming back to them. I was like, of course, because this is what the title is, isn't it? It takes me a while. Who would give to you unconditionally? And they're coming across, and this is, what would they give to you? You've got the King of Cups and these emotional cards. This person's a giver. This person just gives because they've got a strong character, and they feel that by giving to people doesn't make them weaker. And I'm sure here with this Aries feel, the reason that they can do that so well is that when people push back on them, they cut off. It's like straight no. That's quite a fantastic combination now that I'm actually thinking about it at this moment. This ability to give unconditionally and to feel like you're not drained, but you've got to have, I'm not even going to say strong boundaries here, you've got to have the ability, well, it is strong boundaries, to basically, because some people can be quite vampiric in some way and pull energy and just can't get enough, and you can smell them, and most people tend to keep a bit of a distance because it's just difficult. There's a feeling here that this person is not afraid of anybody, even if they've got a slight touch of that, because they know when to say, stop, I'm not giving that. This person could appear quite brusque to people, but they've got a very, very soft, strong inner self, if that makes sense. The reason the person's attracted to you is because as part of this, it may sound a bit rude, but there's part of them inside you, with the fact the Ace of Wands here. It has a feeling that the more outgoing and the more generous part of this person's nature is reflected in you. And, you know, that's quite magnetic in some way. But your person seems to have honed and toned their emotional capabilities to a point that it feels as if it's very admirable. They're not easily pushed around by other people at all. Not very often do other people catch their eye? This feels like somebody who's got a very soft inner nature, but isn't, sorry, I'm biting my nail then, silly romantic. And I don't know what I mean by that, because I am silly romantic. No, and actually, no, I'm not romantic at all. I just like connections and I like to understand what's going on. This isn't somebody that gives you trivial lines or pipe dreams. It's somebody who hasn't got time for lots of people. When they want somebody, they're not going to beat around the bush, they're going to tell them. They don't want flouncy, they don't want dreamers. This person feels as if they're the Pisces bit of a dreamer, but that's very much, yeah, they may a bit, very much, it's action orientated. And they like you because you're action orientated. The more I think about this, and I'm thinking Pisces, this has got a very strong feeling of Pluto, like a strong Pluto aspect in their chart. That's emotionally perceptive, extremely strong, so it could have a Scorpionic feeling about it. They could have Scorpio in their chart as well, as in prominent, of somebody who loves strong but doesn't waste that energy. It keeps hold of it until the right person comes along and cuts everybody else off who's trying, who hasn't quite made the grain. Is that a word? Is that a phrase? Made the grain. Cut the mustard. Ate the custard. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to keep going. Okay, you will be, whether you're with this person long term or not, the reason that you'll be drawn towards this person is not just because they will give to you unconditionally. I think there's a lot in that giving that has something to do with emotional connection. It's like by being with this person, you will be able to connect with them emotionally in some way that you possibly haven't felt relaxed doing before. There's a feeling here that in doing that, you've met somebody who you've yearned for, or you've not had in other relationships, and you're able, it's a lot to do with communication. It's got a lot to do with subtle communication. So there's even a feeling here that it may be, it's things left unsaid that are important in this relationship. And there's also a feeling here that with things left unsaid, we end up filling the blanks and finding out who we are. It's not all out on the table. This has got a very subtle feel of almost like psychic communication behind it. This person knows what you want and knows what you need and gives you just what you need. Damn, that's what it feels like. Your person feels quite mature and very sexy. This is like somebody who has a presence and other people are pulled towards them. And I'm thinking it's not just sexual, it's like people from, I'm going to say same sex, but you know what I mean. I'm just thinking, if you're set in a same-sex relationship, it would apply differently. But there's people who are around them every day that aren't looking to them for a sexual relationship, almost try and please them because they're strong and they communicate in a way that's subtle and only some people pick it up. And there's something, what you get from this person is that you pick up what they're trying to say and they know what you're thinking. It's got a very strong underlayer of almost like, not clairvoyant abilities, intuitive abilities between the pair of you. And that's quite strange because, sometimes you've got fire here, and most of the time when I watch people with fire in them, whether you're interested in astrology or not, they just are. They can't actually spend too much time thinking and feeling if you're pure fire, because you wouldn't do anything. So, we've all got a place doing things, haven't we? This person's a very good combination between action, but also subtle awareness. And that's where the draw is between the pair of you. And this is how this person helps you, because you feel understood. And you feel almost by being understood that all the little bits in past relationships where you felt like you've not actually found the right person, This doesn't have to be a sexual relationship. It could be, but it doesn't have to be, because you've got the Fool card here. When you're not with this person, or after you've been with this person, you know, I'm just trying to look at what part they play in your life. It's like you are more stable in yourself. It's like you restart your life with acceptance of probably your more intuitive capabilities, and also with who you are without having to shout about it. And this is nice. Okay. What do you give to them? There's two ways behind this. You could give them family, because you've got 2 Ten of Cups and you've got the Hierophant. You could play that part in life where you give them a family life. Doesn't have to be children, could be children, but you give them some sort of enclosure on some part of their emotions. You almost wrap up what they're thinking and feeling and their desires, and you give it to them. So that could be family, or that could be just acceptance of themselves as well. Because the Hierophant to me almost brings a ring around what is fire and emotions, and then in a traditional way with these cards here, and makes it just so. You make them feel accepted. Because if they are looking at you and you're giving them back the Ace of Wands, there's a feeling here that this person to me feels like somebody who's disappointed when people take when they give. Not take as in a normal amount, but some people just don't know when to stop taking. And that comes from a need of, or from a feeling of never being satisfied. And, you know, that type of feeling, like it's not what you've got or what you want next, it's the gratitude for what you've got already, that type of feeling. Like some people that just can't get enough, rather than just looking at, I've got it already. You've got something about you that, there's 2 different feelings here, that they admire something about you is that you give back, but also you feel like there's no neediness about you. There's no pull to get more and more and more. And maybe you're both in the same profession, or you both have the same attitude to life, that life is for giving and enjoying, rather than trying to get, you know, trying almost like to wring like a flannel, when you wring out a flannel to get the last bits out of it. Okay, right then, for pile number 1, I'm just going to start summing up what I feel I've got here with regards to who would like to give to you unconditionally, or who will you meet in your life, or do you know this person already? This person's a mixture of the ability to see what needs filling in life, and the need to want to do that. This person comes from what I would say a very strong and a very deep filled well of emotional energy, and is prepared to put it into wherever it's needed and whoever it's needed. You may find this person difficult to grab their attention, but the reason that you're going to fall for them is because they have such a huge, generous nature. And what they see in you and why they'll be attracted to you is, I'm not going to say it's through its emotional connection, but they feel that you give out in life anyway. A generous spirit. It's like 2 generous spirits that meet each other. And that's what they see in you. So I'm wondering whether the same profession, because it feels like you've both got very similar energy. What they're looking for is some sort of, this person feels like they're quite a adventurous person that puts their energy into different slots in life. And in some time in their life, they want it to be enclosed. They want to be able to carry on these characteristics, but in a place that feels like, they're not looking for safety, but it feels safe to them. It feels like it's just their tribe. This person, to me, doesn't feel like somebody's going to be at home all the time. This person feels like somebody who will always need to be out and stimulated by other people. But with this, it's like you won't mind, because you get so much from this person anyway. This person won't play with emotions. What they're going to give you in the process of the contact, however long it lasts, is they're going to give you a feeling of acceptance of yourself. Your ability to speak your truth, your ability to know that your intuition counts, and that most of the time it's pretty spot on. Because this person will somehow, it's like those old games, you know, those really old computer games you used to get, must have been the 70s, when the tennis ball goes back and forward and the things slide up the side. It's like you're sort of batting back to each other. And it's the same energy that's going backwards and forward. And it's a game and it's nice. This feels like a family member. If it's not a family member already, it feels like it could have the possibility of being somebody who you spend quite a long time with in your life. Somebody that feels steady. How will you recognise this person? I think that initially, with the Two of Cups and the Nine of Wands, that, as I said earlier, which is probably one of the strongest thing in this reading, is you know this person can read you. Even if they don't look like they're interested, they've clocked you, they understand what you want, which makes you feel as if you're almost standing there with no clothes on. And your person sees attraction and relationships, you know, this might be a family member, so I'm going to try to be careful here, as very natural. This person doesn't want fuss, doesn't want flouncy, wants love and generosity, but without the over sentimental parts to it. And it's going to cause you to feel like, as I said, you've got no clothes on. You'll want to hide from this person initially. You know, it does have that North Node feeling of somebody that pushes you outside your comfort zone, but starts you on a new track with the Fool card here. And the Nine of Wands may cause you to be a little bit defensive initially, just because you feel vulnerable. It's like speaking to somebody you fancy who's a clairvoyant. Oh my Lord. That sounds awful. Somebody could read your mind. Right, okay, pile number 1, I'm going to leave you there. Happy Valentine's. Please subscribe if you haven't, if you enjoy the readings. Please check out Patreon, or please give it... Oh, why do I feel so silly saying this? I feel like I am too old, but please give it a thumbs up, because I'll check. Bye. Okay, pile number 1, how would you recognise your person? This person who's going to give to you unconditionally. To me, my first thoughts were backdoor man, there can be backdoor woman, whatever that means. It's somebody who doesn't follow rules. It's somebody who you may be already in a relationship. It could even be somebody who pips you to the post of getting something that you may want. But it's somebody who comes almost like a crab sideways towards you, but does it in a very, very different way. I think that you may be immediately repulsed by this person. It has that feeling of somebody who you don't find attractive to begin with, because they may appear a little bit as in they don't... You coming across as a bit what I would feel here a softer nature. There's something about you that is watching this person and thinking, I don't like what they did. This person may have done something that's really rattled you, or you just may not like that personality when you see them, or they may be off limits in some way. But this person's got something very different from past relationships, something very different from what you've been brought up with, or how you've been brought up in your family. One or both of you could be in a relationship. And so that's why I'm saying it may be off bounds in some way. But there's also a feeling that this person may be introduced to you in some way that... The actual situation where you meet this person may be unusual. You may meet this person when you're not least expecting to meet them. You may be on like, I'm going to make these things up just to give you examples, but please interpret it. You could be rock climbing. You could be on a work conference which has just got 5-year-olds in. I don't know what I'm talking about, but this person turns up and they're not meant to be there. It feels like one of those situations where there's a feeling of jarring and unexpected and almost taking a different road or a different tack, and there they are, and it's like it has a huge effect on you, but you're not sure whether you like it, if this makes sense. It's like you go, let's just say you go on a trip and you know everybody else that's going on it. It could be like, I don't know, a school trip or a work trip, or you could have booked something abroad. And it's got 90-year-old women on it. And then for some reason, perhaps the actual instructor or the person who's the guide is your person. So you're just going in thinking something different, and it all changes. Or there is even a feeling here, there's lots of different feelings here, that the person who's going to give to you unconditionally, not only you might not like them because there's a shock factor, but there may be just something different in their personality. But there's also a feeling here that, as I said earlier, your person is off bounds in some way. And if that is so, it may also fit in that when you see them, there's that feeling that the attraction is straight off. Could go either way. Either way, it's a shock. It's either shock repulsion, and then later you almost like go backwards on yourself and let your barriers down, or it's almost could be also be. This speaks more of the Seven of Swords twice is almost like taking a different route. So I'm thinking that's a stronger feel. But you've got Uranus here and you've got Three of Swords. So it could be immediate attraction where you can't, with the Three of Swords, get close to this person. Your person is not grey. They're black or white. There's a feeling here that they don't butter up people. They don't care what people think of them. But you can also sense something very sweet and innocent and that has good intentions in them. Your person may be tall. I'm thinking of, not Cumbersnatch. What's his name? Cumbersnatch. Benedict Cumberbatch. Is that his name? I don't know. But I'm thinking of somebody tall, and I'm thinking of somebody who's quite stately. I'm thinking of somebody with, I may be wrong here because there should be more than one person watching, hopefully. I'm thinking of somebody who's quite regal, but somebody who comes across to others, especially people with lots of water in, as being a bit terse or a bit strong-natured. Also, could be quite sharp with their words. I was watching Ben Shapiro the other day. They just come up, don't they? All these different things, and I'm thinking because I'm Gemini, so I can say this. I'm thinking you're Gemini. I can tell by the way he's talking. It's very staccato. It's very snipped, and it's very yeah. And he was a Gemini moon, isn't he? So your person may come across a little bit grating initially. But there's something that you almost, there's a sweetness about them that you catch. This is somebody that makes changes and doesn't care what people think in life. And this is somebody that may dress very differently. The way that they put their clothes together isn't something that they would have seen in a magazine or that's fashionable. It will be something that is just them. It may be just one thing they do that's different. I can't think of anything, but just the way they wear their trousers, or just a hat they wear, or something they put on that is very different from everybody else, and you could almost not typecast them. What's the word when you actually recognise them through it? And I think your person likes to spend a lot of time to themselves as well. Could even have been through difficult times. So another last thought here before I go on, with the Seven of Swords twice and the Three of Swords and Uranus, your person could have had quite a severe accident in their life. That I'm thinking car accident, because the Three of Swords to me is like metal and slicing. Just another thought there. So I'm just trying to look at how you'll recognise this person. Right, let's go a bit deeper into this. All right, let's use these ones. Oh, oh, bless you. This has got a feeling, this is lovely cards, and they're all major arcana. What goes on between the pair of you? The Empress. And this person, if they're giving unconditionally to you, what they're giving to you and what's going between the pair of you, to me feels like I'm trying, oh yeah. This person feels jarring. This person feels different, you know, and I'm trying to think, it could be different culture, it could be different, you know, that you're used to. But then what goes on between the pair of you, it feels like you meet somebody who feels like, and I'm using this term very loosely, like a soulmate, somebody that feels like part of your tribe. You know, like you both got the same sort of vibration is probably what I'm thinking here. And it's one of beauty and one of growth. It feels like this person hasn't actually had the experience in their life to be able to temper their desires to make them beautiful for other people, but deep down with this sweet card at the end, you've noticed that about them, and it's almost like you're some sort of safe haven for them because they're recognizing you as the sun. So you've got the Empress and the Sun. What the Empress is what's going between the pair of you. So it's almost like, to me, it feels like somebody that lies out a picnic blanket. You know, life's quite hard, life's quite tough. They may have gone through difficult situations. And as an image in my head, it's like you two on a warm beach, nobody else around, laying out a picnic blanket and sitting down and eating and being and smiling at each other, and everything feeling warm and gorgeous. You make this person feel, I know this isn't the answer, but you've got a strong card here. What this person gets from you is that they feel accepted and they feel like they can be themselves. Where I wonder whether this quite jagged energy, the Uranus energy, sometimes feels like it's not really included, because sometimes Uranus can be like the lone wolf of the group. And it's almost, this person could rub other people up the wrong way, but doesn't rub you up the wrong way. You're like some, and as I said, it's like a safe haven. Oh my God. I remember going on an outward bounds course once, and there was a man working with us who was really, it was for kids. There was a man working with us. He was a really sweet man who hadn't had a girlfriend for a long time or a wife. He was divorced. And the kids, the sheep were trying to eat the kids' food. So he had to chase these sheep away from the kids' food. So he's down this ravine running after these sheep. And we were just laughing at him. And he's shouting, any port in a storm. And I've never heard that before. But this is what you feel like to your person. Not like any port in a storm, but just like a safe place to put their anchor down. Don't interpret that. What they give you is a sense of balance, temperance, because there's something in you that may not, because of this card here and this card here, it feels like sweet Pisces Leo feeling to me. Is how I'd interpret this, to try and interpret in my head. It feels like you're very kind and you're very generous natured. You may have been brought up in a way that you're very much loved by your parents. Imagine, it just feels as if everything's quite sweet about you. And then your person's quite jarring, and what they give you is a different side of life where this isn't a safe man or a safe woman. They don't feel safe in themselves. And as you may not know with these sweet cards here what that feels like. You probably, or, you know, maybe you just get on very well with your family and they're always there, and they were the family that came to college and bought you teas and coffees, or a family that helps out. We have this conversation very often in my family, and the Uranus card here, this person hasn't had that in their life, so they approach life from a different way that may feel a little bit terse and a little bit jagged, but there's something between the pair of you, and in connecting, it's like you see a different side of life. This person loves you and gives to you without thinking, because you make them feel like they're accepted, and they may not have felt that in different areas of their life. And so it's almost like you've undone the tap and then the emotions come out. And I wonder whether this person has got strong emotions to be able, that because they've been suppressed for so long. Something could have happened to this person that gives to you unconditionally, that they feel safe with you. And if, you know, when you've sort of like, you tame something, you tame a little animal, or you tame, you know, people that get like crows or ravens or like mice. Mr. Bojangles. He's your Mr. Bojangles. She's your Mr. Bojangles. It's like they become tame with you, because this is like a picnic scenario. This is you being very open, and what's between the pair of you is that you make life balanced. And this person isn't balanced when you meet them, because of the Seven of Swords, Uranus, and Three of Swords as well. So that to me is jagged and history that feels like it's never allowed to lie low, you know, never allowed to relax. I have this image of somebody, this is not them, I'm just thinking what the image with these cards together in my head is like somebody in a cell. Every time they want to fall asleep, somebody puts cold water spray on them. They don't feel settled in life. They feel that life's going to nip them. You almost, and I know this should be what you're getting from them, but this is basically what you're allowing them to give, is through you just being accepting. And they bring another side of life that you may not have had a lot of experience in. In doing that, they give to you because you feel safe, and they feel that they can give possibly for the first time totally in their life. So that's, you know, it's very nice, but also a lot of pressure on you. But this is still a very nice spread. It's quite an unusual spread. Okay, let's have a little bit look at you more so. Okay, this person that gives to you unconditionally changes your life in a way that makes you tougher. It makes you, I'm going to say this in terms of astrology, because if I get stuck with cards, I try and interpret in my head of people that I've seen here. You may have had difficulty applying yourself in life in general. This person is probably somebody who fights for, you know, certain rights, or, you know, whatever it is. There's something quite activist about your person. You're coming across as being very laid back, which, you know, I suppose if you have, I don't know if this feels correct, you know, quite a loving and safe upbringing. There's, you know, you may have grown up like that, but this person hasn't, so they're not afraid to fight because they feel like they're not going to lose people's love. So this is where the balance comes in, because they make you tougher. They make you, it's like small starts into being a different person. You could be going through a Uranus transit. If you don't know this person already, I would check your chart to see if you're going to go through Uranus transit, because this person wakes you up a bit. It makes you mentally sharper, which isn't always easy, but it feels like you both almost balance each other out in a way that you begin to question life a little bit more, rather than just accepting. To me, you feel like you've had do you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of going on holiday with, I'll say this quickly because I try not to put too many stories in, but going on holiday with a beautiful, beautiful, funny friend. And she's always, you know, very much the funny, the centre of everything, loved by her parents dearly, loved in the way we worked together. She was everybody's friend, everybody knew her, not the least bit shy. And I can remember talking to a person who worked in the same place on the way back, saying, "Oh, we went to this place every day, and I held her bags." She's looking at me, thinking, "You did what?" Because I liked her because she had no problem, she had no hangs up, and she was funny. So we had a fantastic holiday. But it's that feeling that your person. this may not sound rude, but your person holds your bag for you, but allowing them to do that, this may sound really weird, lets them feel involved in life that they may not have felt that they got close to. I don't think I felt like this, my friend, but it has that feeling that I always felt like, you know, she was loved by everybody, and I always feel like I was a bit jagged compared to her, and maybe a bit arsey compared to her, and she was just fantastic and warm and funny, and we just spent the whole holiday laughing. It was just great. Anyway, this has got a feeling that you allow this person to feel like they're part of life and accepted, where this person allows you to see a different perspective of life that may be slightly a bit sort of, it feels like they may even rev up your political interest isn't the word, but your insight into a wider scope. Now, I have never done this to anybody, but this person may do it to you. It's like a search for truth with the King of Swords and that Uranus here. With the Page of Pentacles, it starts off in a small way, and there's a feeling here as well that it makes you more decisive of who you are. It makes you more assertive. This person makes you more assertive. All right, okay, I'm going to carry on. Strange feelings, anyway. You give this person hope. You give this person hope after things have fallen to pieces. And I know this, and I will go back to who would give to you unconditionally, because I always forget the title when I start. But the fact that you've got these cups, 5 of cups, for almost summing up what they get from you. It's like they're standing up and they're seeing emotion again, and if they have seen it before, but it's like you give them hope. You're the softness to their spikiness, I think, here. So who would give to you unconditionally? Somebody who is a bit like a rebel without a cause. Somebody who may appear very spiky to people initially. Somebody who probably has quite brave ideas and is not afraid to get shot down for them. You provide a safe port, a comfortable, I'm going to say a picnic blanket again. You just have that feeling that you allow this person to soften up, where they actually wake you up in some way because of that Uranus card there. There's something very generous and sweet about your nature, that even if you weren't loved dearly as a child, that you have an air of innocence about you that allows this person to feel like they belong. And this is why they start, or this is how they start just giving to you in a way that they possibly haven't given to somebody else before. But in that process, they wake you up to who you should be. They give you a different insight into a different perspective on life, which is more slicing, more cutting, more awareness. Which is both of it's needed, isn't it? I suppose we're supposed to live life with sweetness and innocence, but be able to be tough. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense at all. And that's where the Temperance card comes between the pair of you, because it's like you're both meeting each other halfway. There's a feeling here as well, just a few more thoughts, because it is getting really dark in here, that your person may be fostered, was just another thought there, or had an upbringing that was unsteady, or even an early marriage that didn't quite work out, and they don't ask for love, they just get on with it. But you come across as just giving love because that's who you are. You know, you are a fab holiday friend. You don't have to have the most beautiful upbringing, but this person gives to you unconditionally because that you feel safe. And this person doesn't trust many people possibly here. But in doing that, you give this person hope. And they allow you to decide what you want, be who you want to be, and say who you are. Okay, I'm going to finish there. Pile number 2. Please subscribe if you haven't. Please give it, I can't say it. Please give me a little thumbs up if you haven't. And do check out Patreon if you fancy it. I'm going to go. Bye. Okay, pile number 3, the person that would give to you unconditionally has no choice in the matter whatsoever, because their nature is that of a lover. This is somebody who is possibly quite charming, somebody who wears their heart on their sleeve, and somebody, and this feels more romantic than the other 3, because the other 3 you could take as a family member. I can't remember what I said, so be careful with that one. Somebody who wants to live their life with their heart. Yeah, with their heart first, I was going to say then. This is somebody who has, I guess, a very romantic nature, somebody who is quite prepared to put that into words, somebody who, when they like somebody, they will go and ask them, somebody who's quite confident, possibly somebody who is quite at ease with themselves as well. Because there's the Justice card in the middle, and you've got hearts all over this. You've got basically love splattered all over it. But the ability to communicate, this person finds it very easy to find words that can charm. They could, I'm going to say, Mercury makes me think cheeky. It doesn't have to be cheeky, because Virgo can also be very articulate in a very precise and detailed way. This person, you will know them by the things that they say. This person won't, this person, they won't hold back their thoughts very easily. You could almost feel, after spending time with this person, that you're almost like head spinning. They enjoy the game of love. And I don't know if it's like, it doesn't feel like rampant, somebody like Peppa Le Pew running all over you or trying to get on top of you. It feels like somebody who, who's the most charming person you can think of? A bit like a James, I'm not saying this is charming, but like a James Bond character, somebody who's quite smooth and somebody that knows what to say and when to say it. So it's charming, sweet-natured, kind, very good with words. There's a feeling here that the charm is genuine. They decide who they like and then they charm them, rather than doing it to everybody else, because you've got the Ace of Swords there, and to me that makes me think of truth. With Mercury there, they may play with words, they may enjoy a bit of banter, a bit of back and forward. This person may be quite quick as well, but there's something very gentle and very sweet about the Prince of Cups and the Knight of Cups together, that their intentions towards you are romantic, which the first 2 piles, if I remember, please don't keep me to this if you would listen to them, I could have gone either way. Right, let me keep going. Okay, there's a feeling here as well that this person may come into your life when you're in a process of change. There was another thought here that there's maybe some studying going on too. It's the Ace of Swords twice. You know, you could help each other with thoughts, as in like, you know, getting essays together, or you may work together, or then you may be, it may be online, or you, something to do with conversing here that's quite big. And there's also a feeling here that they come into your life when you're in some sort of transition, you've almost given up. They may be there already. You may be at a time in your life where you could have a romantic nature too, and then got to the point where you think, well, sod it, can't be bothered anymore. And you've sort of cut off a little bit from that part of you, and then you almost meet somebody who was like you. And they defend it. They defend that their attitude or the way that they are. And you find that intriguing because you're like, nah, forget it. I've done it before. You could be at the end of a relationship. You could be in a life transition when you meet this person. Because you've got the World and the Five of Cups down here. There's something about what this person says or how they say it or how you communicate that's got a very big impact on you. I don't know whether it's their ideas or their concepts or whether you admire the way that they think. Because I used to have a friend who was a doctor. Yes, she was a doctor, and her husband was a surgeon. And when she had time off to have kids, they had a settee in their kitchen, and she said every night when he came in, she would sit there, regardless of the kids were like pulling her hair out, and listen to his day, because she was mentally stimulated by him and his life. There was a strong mental connection here. This has got very similar feelings. So you will know this person by the fact that you want to know what they've been doing all day, or what they're thinking, or their opinion, or perhaps part of their life. It's got a very sort of, you may have like Gemini or Aquarius or Libra in you, where you actually really enjoy communicating. You like thoughts, you like to play with thoughts, may like to debate. This person may be is the word learned, and that sounds so silly, but they may be somebody who's has a lot of knowledge in an area that you find interesting. And that's maybe how they give to you. This person likes the fact, or will like the fact if you haven't met this person, that you like to listen to them, that you like to play with their ideas. There's another example here. For example, your person may be, the person I'm thinking of is a mixture of Scorpio and Jupiter on the MC, I think. Because I'm going to explain why I'm thinking this. But him and his partner connect in a very strong emotional way because they're both Scorpionic. But because the Jupiter on his MC, he's very interested in politics. He's very interested in life in general, how it moves and what's going on below the surface, or what's said on the outer surface, normally to groups from different single people or small groups of people. I don't know how the correct way to say that because I'm not a political beast at all. And in doing that, oh my God, it's like an energy that's very strong emotionally, but there's more to it. There's a feeling here that this person has so many ideas in their head that to actually discuss them with you is almost cathartic to them, and you just feel loved. And so this person feels loved and accepted, and they have a strong emotional energy anyway, that maybe in past relationships they've not been able to unleash because it is so strong. So they've just given everybody else in past relationships surface them. And then there's almost like, I almost have a picture of a dam with a small opening, but what's coming out of it are letters and words. And there's something between the pair of you where you communicate really well. And maybe this person's ideas, whether they're political, I don't know what they are, but there's something in it, the exchange of information and communication, that allows this person to give to you more because they feel like they're being heard. And it's important to them to be heard. And so they begin to relax in a relationship. You're quite happy with this because it feels like you may be going through a tough time at that moment. You may be at the end of a life cycle when you're about to start something new, and this person comes towards you and almost is stimulating. Initially, I think the relationship's stimulating. But this feels like one that snowballs with more emotions into it. Your person's charming. Your person is charming because they appear intellectual and they've got a soft nature with it. You don't see a lot of the soft nature initially, I think. I think that grows as you get closer to the person. Your person's got quite I can't see this so much. Your person's got quite a passionate nature that initially comes out with regards to the way that they put their words together and how impassioned their words are. But it's part of who they are anyway, and it's not until you get to know this person that they will begin to you begin to see that's the way that their emotions flow as well. Right, let me keep going. Okay. You could even set up business together. There's a feeling here that this person changes both. Well, you both are meeting each other. Your lives change in a big way. You know, there's a feeling here as well that you could all work together only because of possibly the intellectual rapport here. But there's a feeling here with the world twice. This is a type of person where you may have to move to a different business, possibly because of the attraction. But there's also a feeling here that somebody in this relationship, which I thought initially was you, is in a life transition. And what you get from each other is that feeling of being able to start a new chapter with an energy that feels like it's all engrossing. And this person that gives unconditionally to you doesn't do it in what I feel is like initially, because you've got the Seven of Pentacles down here as well. So what you're getting from this person is almost being drip fed at the beginning. And it takes a long time for this relationship to go into the second stage. And I keep saying this, there's a really strong feeling that you're going through changes in your life. Doesn't mean that you have to move house. You could have in astrology like something going on with your IC where you're changing internally in a big way. And this person allows you to be a different person. You've got the world twice, you've got death. They allow you to be a different person in a way that may have something to do with finances. So this could be almost like setting you up in business. This could be like a partner. This could be somebody who gives to you in a way that it could just be security. It could be a backdrop or just somebody you feel like you can almost fall back on. But the reason that they want to give to you is a fact that they feel as if you see them. Which is really important to them. This is an unusual feeling. I can't see whether it's lovers or friends. And I know it may not apply to everybody, but it's a very strange feeling of, it's like two people in a cafe. My son says cafe. And they're just talking, and it's exciting, and they're discussing things. And people are looking at them thinking, oh, they've got a lot going on. And other people will be watching, wondering whether your person is actually romantically drawn towards you, if that's the type of relationship it is. Because initially, they just look as if they're just talking. But what's almost happening here is that this person, defenses are slowly lowering. Not that they've got defensive, it's just that defensive. I just don't think they give easily to begin with regards to emotions. Before what feels like it's too late. And then it's too late for both of you, because it feels as if this is like, and I've said this in a different reading months ago, it's like a story of two halves, this one. If you've ever read The Bronze Horseman, my God, that book's fantastic. It starts off absolutely, if you like a love story every now and then, it is fantastic. And then in the middle, I just couldn't bother with the rest of it. Just couldn't be bothered. There's so many romantic novels like this. But this is the story of two halves. The beginning is probably the bit that would be at the end of The Bronze Horseman, that it just looks as if normal reality is going on. And then the end bit would be the beginning where it all starts kicking off. So this could be a slow burner with two people that have quite different lives or are separated in some way. You possibly are going through changes, or there's some way that you can't get together. This is a feeling of somebody that, or a relationship that blossoms later on. That's quite passionate, but your person is very... has ideas and thoughts, and it may go into business. And I don't know whether you're included in this, because this is what you're getting from it as well. This person gives to you because you excite them. You excite them because you listen to them and you accept their ideas, and not many people have listened to them before. There's a feeling here of support in this for ideas that are different. And that almost like opens the gates to this person's emotions. And so they keep giving and they keep giving, because you're giving them something that they must need. Listening and accepting. And if you show that if this person's got a business or some sort of idea, and you've already shown this person, if you know it, is that you're interested, that's the best thing that they have probably ever heard. But there may be something between you that takes almost like the second part of the chapter or the book to get this moving into a deeper or a more passionate, possibly, level, because your person takes a while to, I'm going to say take their clothes off, to unravel their more romantic, more personal, emotional side. Okay. This is the person who wants to come towards you. So I don't know if that rang a bell with you, but that's what I've got today. Please subscribe. I don't like saying these. Please, if you like the readings, please subscribe. And almost give it a thumbs up. This just seems like bad, but or check out Patreon. I'm not the world's best salesperson, because I'm always, if you like it, you like it, and if you don't, you don't. And I don't like pushing people into something they don't want. I'm not really good at it, but if you do, then I would really appreciate it. Thank you, bye.